Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Man's Noble Beer Reviews. Today I have another beer from Divine Barrel Brewing Company out of Charlotte, North Carolina. This beer is called $40 Bill. It is a West Coast IPA brewed with Citra, Simcoe, and Amarillo, which to me sounds like a really good hop combination. I'm a big fan of like a blend of new bridge and old school hops, which that definitely is. I guess Citra isn't really a new school hop anymore, to be honest, now that I think about it. But to me it is, because I remember a long while before that even came into play. So, but anyways, this is 7.1 ABV. We'll crack it open and see what we got out there. Just a weird. Sorry, I was just looking at the label. It's just weird that they actually drew a picture of like emulating whatever a $40 bill would look like. Anyways, it is nice to see an IPA that I can actually see through. So it definitely, I know it said West Coast style, but still, you never know. This is definitely pretty translucent, almost transparent, I would say. Yeah, I'd say it's transparent. There's pretty much like no, there's not even much foggy character in the beer. Has about a 1 finger's worth of white head. Pretty fluffy. Doesn't seem like it's going away anytime soon. Interesting. So it's definitely I would say it's more Citra than anything. I'm not getting what I generally get out of Amarillo, which is almost like an earthy medicinal character, which, in my opinion, it's a good thing I'm not getting that, because it's something that I'm not a big fan of. There is a little bit of like a dank character, which I'm guessing is coming from the Simcoe, but it's more on like the peachy side, which is interesting. We'll see. It's really interesting because, like, by the aroma and by the look of it, like, you wouldn't really assume that this had very, very much like caramel malt in it, because it's so light looking. And at least in my opinion, the aroma, I didn't really get any like caramely sweetness, but it kind of has that flavor, almost like a like an older IPA that the hops are fading a little bit. It's not super in your face, but I get it a little bit. Just like it almost comes off like with that tea character, which is kind of weird. But it does also have like a little bit of a mix of like orangey and dank hop character. I mean, it's definitely still has like a little bit of freshness to it. But it does kind of taste like it's faded a little bit. And I mean, this thing isn't like super, super fresh, but it's only like a month old. So, I mean, at that point, I would expect it to hold up pretty well. It does seem like it has faded like a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. I don't mind drinking it. I will say it is very clean. Very, very clean. And the hop flavors that are there are very crisp. But it just kind of tastes like a little malty and faded, which is really unfortunate, because everything else about it is like really crisp and on point. So I still think it's a good beer, but I imagine that this, when it was like uber fresh, like literally right off the line, then this was probably better than what it is now. And I generally don't like to knock a beer for tasting old because I think it's my fault for not drinking it sooner. But being only a month old, like, you know, I think most IPAs should have a pretty good shelf life. I know in general they don't compare to other beers, but I would say they should have at least a shelf life of 2 months. Or at least 6 weeks. If you're not even to 6 weeks and you're starting, excuse me, to show signs of fading in the hop character, then it's kind of disappointing. But you know, it is what it is. I do appreciate that they did do a West Coast style, and I still think it's pretty good, and it's good enough that I want to go back and try to get a can, maybe even do a re-review of a can of this, like when it's fresh off the line, because to me it just has that character that when it's super fresh, this is probably a really, really good IPA. Because like I said, it's very, very crisp and clean, and it still has a good bit of hop character, but it just, there's something about it that seems like it's a little faded, which is unfortunate. So, on my scale of buy, drink, dump, I'm gonna give this one a buy, only because I still think it's pretty good, and I think if you get it super, super fresh, it's probably like really, really good. So that's why I'm gonna give this one a buy. I don't imagine that it tastes like this when it's like right off the line, because everything about it is really good. It just kind of seems like it's a little too caramely. But, I mean, look how light this is. I don't think that's the case. I like that they added too much to the grain bill. I think the hops are just a little faded. So, I'm still going to give this a buy. It's still a pretty good beer, but I definitely want to try this like uber fresh and see what it's like. So, I think that's all I got in this one. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, and I look forward to doing the next one. Thanks.